The story of Musa alayhi salam, it really starts before the birth of Musa. We have to know why the Israelites, why the people of Musa were really oppressed. It starts in the time of Ibrahim alayhi salam with his wife Sarah. Sarah was traveling through Egypt, and the Pharaoh at the time was trying to capture her. Alhamdulillah, Allah helped her escape from the Fir'aun, and she said, she had a prophecy. She said, indeed, the end of your empire will come from a son of the Israelites. So Fir'aun, this self-king god, he was fearful, right? He was fearful, so every single year, for every single boy that was born, he killed them. And infants, he slayed them. How did he do this? He had midwives and he had soldiers go to every single house. And he would see if the signs of a pregnant woman, and the midwives would tell them the timeline of when they will be born, and they would return that timeline and slay the child. So this is the first lesson of the story of Musa. How can a self-proclaimed God be fearful? That he is sending midwives, he is sending soldiers house to house, scared of infants. So this shows us the first lesson, that indeed only Allah is the Almighty. And then from that prophecy that Sarah had, he had a dream, a following dream, that there was a fire burning from Jerusalem, starting from Jerusalem. And he woke up and he was scared again. What did he do? He called all the magicians, all the sorcerers throughout all of Egypt. He called them and he asked them, advisors. He said, what does this dream mean? Because he was scared. And they said that your end will come from a son of the Israelites. So again, he made the soldiers, he made the midwives, he made it known that the Jews, the sons, the Israelites will be slayed from infancy. But then we are told in the Quran that Allah always helps the oppressed, right? Jews were promised, the Israelites were promised from a slave stature, right? From a stature of being killed from infancy, they will rise and will take the ruins of Fir'aun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will kick Fir'aun and the Coptics out of their gardens and their riches, and the Israelites will rise. Now we are brought to the birth of Musa alayhi salam, right? His older brother Harun, he was born in the year that it was alternating years. In the beginning it was every single year, but a problem rose up that since the Israelites, since the Jews, they were the slave working class of Egypt at the time. They were the working class, the slaves. They were never given an elite job. So since he was killing the sons of the Israelites, a problem rose up that we have no more working class. If we keep going through this, we'll have no slaves left. So he did alternating years. And Harun alayhi salam, he was born in the year that the sons will not be slain. But the mother of Prophet Musa alayhi salam, she was gonna have Musa alayhi salam at the time where Fir'aun would have slayed him. So she was very scared, very fearful of this. When she finally had Musa alayhi salam, Allah gave her wisdom. Allah gave her safety. He told her to put him in a chest and have a string tied to it. Their house was by the Nile, the banks of the Nile, right? So he told her, have a string and a chest. And when you are scared and when you are fearful that Musa would be slayed, put him inside the chest and connect the string and let it float. Now imagine a mother being told, I will take care of your son, let him float through the Nile. All the dangers, of all the dangers out there, she still believed in Allah, she still had the comfort from Allah, and she did it. That void in her heart, it's almost like tearing a limb off. That void in her heart, she became almost crazy, almost insane. I say this because she wasn't thinking straight. Now I say she wasn't thinking straight because it got to a point where she was about to make it public, the situation of Musa, because she was so scared. She wanted to know what was going on. Now obviously if she made it public, and if they didn't know, he would be slayed. So that's why I say she came to a point where she almost became insane. But obviously again, Allah gave her comfort, and Allah said, promised her that her and Musa will meet again. Now while Musa, this infant, is floating through the Nile, the mother of Musa commands her daughter, the oldest daughter, to follow Musa through the Nile. Just follow him from a distance and see where he lands, see where he goes. Is he safe? Is there animals around? What's going on? So she does, she follows him from a distance, and we all know he lands in the same place where they try to get him away from. Pharaoh's backyard, the palace gardens. She relays this information to her mother, and her mother is scared, worried again. Which mother wouldn't be? Now, back to the gardens of Pharaoh. We are told that the wife of Pharaoh, Asiya, picked her up. And then there are narrations that the slaves picked Musa up, but they didn't open the chest because they were scared. So they took it to Asiya. Asiya opened it up, and she said, this is the most beautiful baby I've ever seen. It was awesome, it was bright. You could see the nur radiating off his face. So she took it to Pharaoh because they were barren, they didn't have no children. She took it to Pharaoh and she said, can we keep it? Can we have it? Can we adopt it for our own? Pharaoh was persistent with saying no. Slay it. Slay the child. But again, she was persistent. She's like, this is the most beautiful baby I've ever seen. This child will do us good. Will do us good. Pharaoh replied, no. The child will do you good. He will do me no good. So, obviously in every relationship, the wife was persistent, the husband listened. So, always listen to your wives. Musa alayhi salam was saved, and Pharaoh said, yes, we shall adopt this child and raise it as our own. Another situation rose up. Musa alayhi salam was not accepting anyone's milk. No matter how many midwives they brought, how many mothers they brought, Musa alayhi salam would not accept it. Now, back to the family of Musa, the mother of Musa alayhi salam told the daughter, always keep an eye on Musa. From the distance, be careful. From a distance, keep an eye on Musa. I need to know what's going on. I need to know how my child is doing. So when Asiya and the midwives all come throughout the city to find a woman, they're pleading, please, does anyone know of a person who can feed my child? Imagine an infant that's not taking any nutrition in, will die. So finally, the sister of Musa sees this. She sees Asiya and she sees the midwives in the streets of Egypt, and she says, I know of someone, I know of a woman that he will definitely accept milk from. She almost gave herself away from this. She said, I know someone that Musa alayhi salam would definitely accept the milk from. Then they were surprised, how do you know that he will definitely accept the milk from this woman? She says, oh, I know because I just want to please, Allah gave her this wisdom. I just want to please Pharaoh and the family of Pharaoh, and whatever I do is for the pleasing of the family. So she gave them security, safety for a while. And indeed, with the will of Allah, Musa alayhi salam did accept his mother's milk, and Asiya was very happy. She was very happy. She gave the mother of Musa a job. She said, we will take you inside the palace, come live with us, full payment, whatever. But she said, no, I have a family, I have kids, I will still feed this child, but I'll be staying by myself, with my family in my home. So, from here, Musa alayhi salam is now raised safely, probably in the safest part of Egypt, inside Pharaoh's palace, with his mother very close to him. So Allah, remember the promise I said in the beginning of the talk. Allah is indeed, He keeps all of His promises, as you see here. The mother and the son will be reunited, and they were, in the best of parts. She raised him, she breastfed him still. And Asiyah was still happy, and Pharaoh was not, but Allah's will still goes through. Now, Musa is raised. He has the best equipment, the best fun, the best sleeping area, whatever. He is the prince of Egypt. Imagine, an Israelite, the prince of Egypt, the ones that Pharaoh was the most scared of. Right? He held Musa as a baby, and little did he know from that time, while he was holding Musa as a baby, this son of Israel would bring his powerful empire demise to crumbles. So he was raised, he was brought up with the best of everything. And the Israelites, they were happy because now they have someone in the palace. They have someone they could look up to, go to for their problems. A slave class having someone they could go to. Now one day through the city streets of Egypt, we see an Israelite and a Coptic fighting. Alright? So someone from Musa's clan, someone from Musa's people fighting from his enemy, the sworn enemies. What does this Israelite do? He calls out to Musa, because as we all know, Musa is a big, strong prophet, one of the strongest. He calls out to him and said, "Oh Musa, I need your help." So of course he goes to him, and without knowing his power, he struck him, and he died right there. Now we were told in the Quran that this was not Prophet Musa alayhi salam's intention, and this was indeed Shaitan, a sworn enemy of mankind. Without knowing this, Musa alayhi salam was in deep sorrow, he was in deep regret. He committed murder. He falls down to Allah, he says, "Oh Allah, forgive me, for indeed I have sinned, I ask for your forgiveness." Without knowing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does grant him forgiveness, because indeed that was the work of Shaitan. So from this, the next day, we see the same Israelite fighting with another Coptic. Musa's walking down the street, and from a distance, the same Israelite says, "Oh Musa, I need your help once more." And Musa alayhi salam sees this, he says, "Indeed you are the aggressor. Every single day you're the one fighting, you're the one causing problems, it is you." So while he was walking towards this Israelite, this man gets scared. He gets scared. This big, tall, strong person is walking towards me, and I just saw him kill someone yesterday, and he's talking like this to me, that I am the aggressor. He's scared. So he tells this Coptic, and he says it out loud in the street, "Oh Musa, will you slay me like you slayed the person yesterday?" He gives him out. But indeed we are told through narrations that Musa alayhi salam intention, yes, that Israelite was still the aggressor, but Musa alayhi salam's intention was still to help him, to still strike against that Coptic and save his brethren. But this Yahud gave him away, and he was scared now. He ran. He had a good friend, an advisor. He told him that the chieftains have reported that you have killed the man yesterday, and they went to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh has sent the authorities against you. They're planning to capture you. So now scared, Musa alayhi salam does what? He flees. With nothing to his name, he flees. Not knowing where to go. He's hit basically rock bottom. He does not know where to go. He asks Allah, "Oh Allah, guide me wherever." And Allah indeed guides him. He goes to a place called Midian. Now we are told Midian is the place where most likely Prophet Shu'aib and his people were previously. When Prophet Musa alayhi salam reaches Madian, he sees a group of farmers, a well, and in the distance 2 women they were busy trying to keep their sheep together. There were 2 women, and they see them in the distance not coming to the well and using its sources. And he doesn't understand. He was like, why not? All these other male farmers are doing it. Well, why aren't they doing it? And he sees they're having trouble. So what he does, he goes to them and he says, why are you not feeding your flock? They say, indeed, we are only women. Our father is very old, fragile. He cannot do this job. He cannot do this work. And there are men down there. We do not want to be in any dispute because surely we lose. And obviously, we all know the nature of men and their lustfulness. So they waited till the men finished. But these men were wicked, as we know. Whenever they were done feeding their sheep, they used to put a rock on top of the well. Now narrated by Umar radiallahu anh, this rock itself took 10 men to pick up. Imagine a stone and 10 men around it needed to be picked up. But Prophet Musa alayhi salam picked it up by himself. So see the power and the wisdom and the strength Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Prophet Musa. This is before he gained prophethood. So he tells the woman, I'll do this for you. I'll take the responsibility upon myself. I'll feed your sheep for you. He does. He returns it to them. And he goes by a tree for shade and comfort. And he says a dua. He says, Oh Allah, you have any good for me, bring it my way. This is a very powerful dua. Many of the recently married brothers, they say this dua worked for them. And then if that doesn't work, Umrah. If that doesn't work, ask Imam Ajmal to pray for you during Jummah and Witr every night, inshallah. And from there, Allah indeed, He does help him. Where Prophet Musa alayhi salam is at his rock bottom. He has nothing to his name. He has his family back in Egypt. He fled. He has nothing. Now he didn't make dua for money. He didn't make dua for means of transportation. He didn't make dua for anything else. He just said, Oh Allah, whatever good you have for me, bring it my way. And Allah indeed answered his dua. The same 2 women he helped came back to him. They went to their father and they tell the father who helped them, how they did it so quick. And the father said, go call him back. Prophet Musa alayhi salam gets the notification. He was told by one of the daughters, okay. He walks with them to the father and says, I have a proposition for you. My daughters tell me, indeed you are an honest, trustworthy, hardworking man. Will you work for me for 8 years? And I will marry one of my daughters to you. And if you work for me 10 years, that is from your own blessing. So, as we can see, now he has safety of a job. He has a wife, a family for 10 years. Allah indeed accepted his dua. From rock bottom, he has all this now, like this. So after the 10 years pass, he works for this man, who some narrations say that it could be Prophet Shu'aib, but we don't know for certain. He is now married, he has a family, he has a job. He's financially stable enough, he says, now let me take my way back to Egypt, to my real family, to my brother, to my mother, to my sister. He does this, and on the way there, he gets lost again. But this time with his family, with his wife. And he sees a fire in the distance. It is cold, it's night. Some narrations say it's between Maghrib and Isha. So it's cold out. And he sees this big fire in the distance. He tells his family, wait here. I'll go to the fire. Maybe I'll find a person that can guide us. I'll find some help. I'll bring some birch. I'll bring some firewood. We'll camp here for the night. Let me see. He goes there. There's no one there. But he hears from the distance a voice call out to him. It says, "O Musa, I am your Lord." He gets scared. In the middle of nowhere, barren land, mountains, there's one big fire in the middle. And he hears this voice. He gets scared. His family is in the distance. He says, the voice calls out to him again, "O Musa, do not worry, I am your Lord." Again, scared. But this voice now tells him, "Throw your staff down." Musa had a staff with him. He says, "Throw your staff down." He says, "Only thing I do with my staff is I hit some leaves with it sometimes. I take care of my flock of sheep with it sometimes. It's just a regular staff." But he listens to this voice. He throws it down. It turns into a snake. Now he's even more scared. Then the voice tells him again. It reassures him. Then the voice tells him, "Put your hand between your armpit and your waist over here, and your body over here." He does it, and the voice says, "Pull it out." It's almost like a beautiful beam of light. Clear. These are indeed miracles. Yes, magic was prominent at the time, but these are miracles. Musa was no magician. He was chosen by Allah. He was a messenger of Allah. Allah gave him wisdom, He gave him power, He gave him guidance. So this was not magic, this was Allah. These were miracles. So now Allah gives him the wisdom to be a prophet, to be a messenger. He tells him to go to Fir'aun, to go back to Egypt, to go to your family, but call the Israelites and Fir'aun to Islam, to the message, to the oneness of Allah. So now he gains prophethood. And indeed, I'll leave it on to this, inshallah, after Asr. One of the other youth brothers will be continuing the story, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.